I don't think it has ever been as important as it is today to champion the great impact that universities have on our society. Universities have a profoundly positive impact on the world through their educational programs, of course, through their work in the community, through their inventions, their innovations, and through their groundbreaking discoveries. Universities drive regional and national economies. More profoundly, they help us to understand what it is to be human. They make the world a better place. But despite this unquestionable and to me absolutely obvious public good, universities in many parts of the world seem to be under attack. Across the continents, populist politicians are questioning the very worth of our higher education institutions. And perversely, the pandemic has promoted and empowered the forces seeking to denigrate universities.
I think increasingly the community expects us to harness our research in ways that address the really complex, difficult issues that our local community faces, that our country faces, and that our region and the world faces. I think that's a really deep, fundamental shift that's occurring, not only in Australia, but across the world. We just know that whether it's climate change, whether it's global poverty and social dislocation and alienation, whether it's the rise of an impact of technology, of course, things like the global pandemic, we just know that governments, firms, and indeed universities can't address those problems on their own.
Perhaps the question we need to examine is instead, how can universities meaningfully contribute to the SDG process without unintendedly contributing to further injustices? And that is the need to decolonize development and its knowledge base. That is the way we think about development, the actions taken in its pursuit, and the indicators we use to monitor progress. The role of university in propelling the SDGs is not about providing abstract global solutions. We need to cultivate spaces of and for epistemic justice.
The SDGs are based on an unfounded optimism that the current economic model can help us achieve a just and sustainable world. So we need to question that model. The SDGs also are inattentive to questions of culture, language, knowledge traditions, and those also need to be incorporated into our vision. So I would argue that the university also needs to be at the forefront of helping us reimagine that framework.
I think that UCL has the responsibility to respond to student demands, but more fundamentally, as an authoritative actor in the fields of teaching and research, I think UCL must advance efforts for the SDGs and have an active voice in both national and global sustainability debates. However, there is definitely a limit of what academics can do to drive forward our learning in the classroom when it comes to sustainability. Of course, they do control what happens directly in the classroom, but I think it's equally as important to think of the informal curriculum, what happens outside of the classroom, students' real-life experiences,